Good day, Silvercreek. It's Doughty here. And today I'm joined by one of our rock star agents, Keith Masonheimer. He's been with us for a number of years. And I've invited him here today to kind of help us navigate this change in the market that we've experienced over the last few months. I get the question over and over from a lot of people who have listings. They're struggling having difficult conversations with their sellers in terms of, do I do a price reduction? What's the market doing and stuff like that? So I wanted to invite Keith here because he's an expert on scripts and dialogues and having these difficult conversations on what to do. What conversations are you having with your sellers and how are you prepping them for this?
Sure. So I was telling earlier, a lot of our success can be determined by the number of uncomfortable conversations we're willing to have with people. And obviously a price reduction is an uncomfortable conversation sometimes.
For sure.
A lot of it comes down to setting up the expectation from the beginning. So when you're taking the listing and you are really communicating what the market's doing right now, especially in this shifting market, and realizing that our job is to do a service for the seller and get their home sold and not just make us feel good by getting a listing. And so that's where you have to take that on yourself is, okay, are these people motivated and is this something I can help them with? And so one of the first questions I always ask is, do you absolutely need to sell your home to accomplish X? Whether that's downsizing or relocating, divorce, whatever might happen. And so then you're getting that buy-in from them that, yes, this is a must.
We want to, or sellers.
Right, we are sellers. We're not testing the market. It's not 2020, 21 where you put anything out there and it sells. And then also too of relaying, here's where values are at. And in 2021, we could price ahead of the market. So if a home was selling for, nearby was selling for 520, we could probably price it for 550 and still get multiple offers.
Yeah.
Where now we have to be on the leading edge down and explaining that to sellers and tracking inventory because now they've got 10 other homes they're competing with versus one. And so that's our biggest thing is relaying the stats and making sure they're motivated.
Excellent. So let's say we do have a motivated seller. We go ahead and list the property. We're analyzing the market on a daily basis, right? Because it can change. A comp can come available that's maybe $15,000 less than we had originally comped it at. So we're being nimble in our pricing, but it's still not selling. And the seller needs to sell. What does that conversation look like? Are there scripts and dialogues that you can use as an agent to help have that difficult conversation?
Yes. Going back to the listing process initially, a lot of the times we will, in a shifting market like this, we will write a price reduction in other terms and conditions right in the listing, saying if we do not have any offers within 2 weeks or we don't have any showings within a week, they agree to automatically adjust the price down to a predetermined amount. So that's something that a lot of successful agents have been doing for years.
Is there a formula that you're doing, a percentage, or is it 5,000, 10,000, or does it depend on the price?
Yeah, it would depend on the price. I mean, again, if you had a $500,000 home, seeing what other homes are selling for, and again, some people like, well, I want to test it. Okay, we would test it for 1 week.
Gotcha.
If you don't have any offers, then you'd have
showings, right? Showings are another good indication of we're priced too high. Okay.
Or if you get other information where this neighbor or this other home reduced their price significantly, then
we need to change.
Yeah, you could do that.
So in terms of the conversation, is it just as simple as saying, hey, listen, here's what the market data is telling us we need to do. And if you're still on track to sell your home and you still have that goal, here's my recommendation in terms of what the price reduction needs to be.
Absolutely.
That's simple.
It's constantly revisiting their motivation and updating them because I would say the biggest reason sellers cancel with agents is lack of communication.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah. How often are you communicating with your sellers about the market?
Once a week.
Once a week. Okay.
So we'll relay, obviously, any feedback from the showings, we would relay that to them sooner than that, and then even provide a summary. So I tell all of my listings, I'll update you on a weekly basis, typically on Wednesday, and ask them, which do you prefer, phone call, email, and then you can send, hey, here's a recent sold, here's a recent active, so they can gauge and see what what other activity has come on and how they compare to that. And then again, revisiting their motivation, saying, here's how the market has shifted in the last week. I know we had discussed this, and that's, again, not that comfortable conversation always to have.
And if you have a seller that's really resistant, you know, no, I want to give it a month, or I just want to keep testing the market, so to speak, or, you know, they're unwilling to do that. Any advice there?
Yeah, you give the home back to them.
Okay.
You are the highest bidder on your home.
Yep.
And again, that's a difficult conversation
to
have.
That. Yeah.
But we are seeing a good 20 to 30 canceled listings per week in the market. But we're also seeing 2,800 active homes just in Ada County. Yeah. Which has gone up from like 600 homes in February, March timeframe. So knowing your stats, being able to tell that to them. But also it's just kind of that factor of, and even with buyers, a lot of people get frustrated with buyers, like they're not buying anything. Okay, well, have you considered firing them? Yeah. Well, that is the same on a seller. Of if my job's to sell your home and represent your interest and do it the best as I can. If your motivation has changed or the market has shifted below that, then that's, I mean, I can't help you if the price is the factor outside of condition and other things like that. That's great. So then it's okay. Well, it might be best to just keep your home and and give it back to them. Awesome. I really appreciate it. My kind of takeaways are: one, communication before you even take the listing, right? Setting realistic expectations. So and real quick with that, you have to analyze what is your cost to take a listing. My time, photographer, sign, flyers, reputation, whatever. So that's something for coaching. When we've been coached, you have to figure out what's your cost of taking a listing. And if they're not motivated, or you kind of have to gauge and see, okay, or what if you reduced your commission? I mean, is that another $5,000-7,000 that cost that you've negotiated? Yeah. So all those different factors, you have to look and see, okay, is that something I'm willing to spend my time and effort to help these people, or can I help them? And weigh that cost too. I like that. Yeah. I appreciate your time, Keith. Yeah. And I would encourage you to reach out to myself or Keith or anybody else on our staff for additional input and recommendations, because this is a very much changing market day by day, right? And so we're in this together as a team, and I think the more we collaborate together, the better it is for all of us. So thanks for tuning in, and best of luck this week. Have a great day.